Hello. 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 Whoever you are, wherever you are watching, and welcome to today's Skyrim video. Not only is it a Skyrim video today, but it is also my first ever video on this channel. So, to kick things off with today, I was thinking maybe just a simple book reading would be the right move, I think. So I already have a spot picked out where to go. Windstad Mine. Now Windstad Mine isn't in the base Skyrim. It's not a DLC or a creation club. Oh, hello. Deja. Jarira. Sorry.
Maybe you're looking to make some easy gold, yes?
It's been a while. Yeah, that's the pirate captain who, oops, wrong button. That's the pirate captain who, well, a bandit, rather, who leads a band of, pirates who try and steal from other pirates and other ships, merchant ships, and such. We won't be giving him any, we won't be doing him any favors today. No, so, as I was saying, Windstad Mine, next to Oostengrav, is a complete custom mod which adds a new form of player income for those who either struggle with money or are looking for more things to do in the base game. I built up enough there in which I'm able to get a nice steady flow of income, and I have a nice little home in the mine itself. So that's where we will be travelling to today. It's come fully furnished with everything that you need, including books and food and potions. So that's where we will be going. Now, let me put on my travelling gear, because the Skyrim roads can be dangerous for anyone not fully prepared. Ah, yes, much better. Now, let's start moving. So, as I mentioned, this is my my first video doing ASMR, especially in this format of playing a video game and just talking. The reason being is that I find it really relaxing and soothing for myself. Oh, hello. Okay.
Let's see. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Now I'm playing with the, for the intro I was playing with the HUD low, or off completely, because I didn't want the, compass to get in the way. But, I might just download a mod to fix that. Invitation to Elowin's, that's not it. Note on new wares. sins that have plagued humble merchants such as this one for some time. Coin flows well once again. Visard has new wares for sale that would interest one such as you. More of the arms and armor used by the saints and seducers have been found and can be yours for a price. This one has also traded for strange new war materials. Visard knows not what they could be used for, but this one is sure you could find a way to put them to good use. May your road lead you to warm sands. That makes sense now. I haven't played the oh, and that is a dragon, so I had a feeling this would happen. I will try and evade it, but if I have to, a fight might have to happen. Yes, I think this is the only way of dealing with it. Yeah, things have not gone quite to plan, but we will make the most of it. Do I have Dragon Rend? No. There we go. That was quite the detour. I'll probably edit out that fight. Some good loot there. But now back to the main thing. So yes, let's get moving. Yes, so like I was saying before, we got interrupted. I haven't played this game since the start of the year. So I wasn't quite sure why I was in Solitude, but the letter from the courier helped to solve that conundrum. This is the wrong way. Like I said, it's been a while. I was in the sewers of Solitude, dealing with a wizard who was summoning golden saints into Skyrim, which is one of the Creation Club quests. It adds a new quest, which is the one that I just mentioned, but also brings in new items, weapons, armor sets, and ore that you can use. Hello, soldiers. Imperial Guard. Imperial soldiers roaming the hold, keeping an eye over any storm cloaks, which is quite surprising considering that there was a storm cloak camp, quite literally, just down here. I don't think you can fully see it. Oh no, there it is. So, they're not doing their best, but at least they're here. That's the main thing. So, yes, as I was saying before, this is my first attempt, really, at doing both an ASMR video and also a commentary. I've never done something like this before. I used to do commentaries way back in the day when I was but a teenager. And I'm talking about 10 years at this point. Yes, that's the right way. Yeah, 10 years ago at this point. I used to do Team Fortress 2 and Skyrim commentaries, but they were short-lived because my computer at the time just wasn't good enough to have good quality videos. Everything was either 360p or 480 at best. But now I can run things much better. This is running at a smooth, consistent 60 FPS, which is nice. Granted, it doesn't have any mods, but it doesn't have any performance mods or graphical mods. Maybe I'll download a ENB. Hello, Miko. Miko, I haven't found you in this playthrough. Where did you go? Down here. Yes. Let's get a friend today. Miko's shack is discovered. Oh. What's wrong, boy? Do you want to come with me? Come on. You can follow me if you want. There we go. Now that is a shame. It seems this poor Nord is Miko's owner. Let's take the car like he's not going to have any use for it. But let's read his journal. Well, after all my years living in these woods, it looks like the rock joint will finally be the end of me. I guess that's fine. All my friends are long dead. The only one left is poor Miko. He was always a loyal companion, and I know he'll be able to take care of himself. I hope someday I'll see him again. Poor man. I understand he had a rock joint. It's quite a terrible disease. A dancing fire. I'll take that for later. Got a speech level up for that. Come on, Miko. Rock joint can be quite a deadly disease. Affects the bones, as the name suggests. It looks like that poor man had no choice but to just stay in his hut until the end of his days with his dog. Miko. It is a shame because Dragon's Bridge really is just across the, just a short distance away. He could have perhaps got some healing or a potion of a cure disease or some such. But it just seems it wasn't in the fates for him to do so. But I'm sure that one day in the future. Oh, I thought that was a saber cat. It's just an elk. I'm sure that one day in the future, him and Miko will be reunited in Sovngarde or whatever afterlife realms. Aetherius. Hopefully not the Soul Khan. I hope he has not been soul trapped at any point in his life. That would be unfortunate. That orc we just passed was a skooma dealer, and while I am a Khajiit, I don't want to humor that kind of business practice. Skooma is can be quite a potent and lethal drug. I've only just kicked the habit myself. Oh. Let's deal with this very quickly. There we go. And take those as well. My horse is starting a fight. Oh, with a ice wraith. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Miko. Good boy. Yes, it's like I said, the roads are dangerous here in Skyrim. Where did my horse? Where's my horse wandered off to? I do not know. It got spooked and ran away. Oh. I do not know. It seems we'll be doing the rest of this trip on foot. At least we have Miko to keep us company. Please don't bark too loud. The bunny rabbit. What was I saying before? Yes, the scuba. Oh, hello. However, this is a... Hello.
It's good to see another merry soul enjoying this fine day.
Yes, it's quite a nice day today, isn't it? Ah, there's Labyrinthian. I feel we have gone too far from Morthal. Honey brew mead?
You've never had a taste of sweet honey brew? Why, it's only the finest mead outside of Sovngarde. Its sweetness is like a fair maiden's kiss on a starry night.
No, I've never had a,
It's got enough kick to put a frost troll on his hind quarters.
I've never had a taste of honey brew mead.
Won't you share a drink with me and my companion?
Of course, yes. I would love to share a drink with you, friend.
Nothing like fine spirits to help raise your... well, your spirits. Cheers, my friend. May your adventures find you fame and fortune.
Cheers to you as well, my friend. Thank you. Yes, these drinks are a vice that I can happily take. One drink every now and then is okay. Thank you. Yes, we've officially gone too far. Yes, we missed our turn. We will walk back. Yes, as soon as I saw Labyrinthian up there, I realized we have gone way too far from Morthal and away from our destination. Because Windstad Mine is in the swamps past Morthal. Those who are familiar with the houses that you can buy will understand that Windstad Mine is close to Windstad Manor. Windstad Manor. Windstad Manor. From the Herfire DLC. Which you can buy after becoming Thane of Morthal. I forgot the name of the actual hold itself. I want to say it's the Pale, but I could be wrong. Oh. I see. Well, is this your child, Benno?
You've been a good friend to me. That means something.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Is this just a case of illusion magic? Yoik.
I get lost sometimes. I'm not sure where I go. Well, I'm not here.
I can... Yes, I can see that. Yeah, that's a very apt thing to say, young man. Yorick is the child of the Jarl of Morthal, Ingrod. I think it's Ingrod. I could be wrong. As much as I love this game, I do tend to forget a lot of the names of NPCs. Idgrod, Ravencrone, I believe is her full name. In fact, let me look this up. Yes, I was right. Idgrod, Ravencrone. He is her son, and she is known for having visions and magic abilities. So him being able to do that is not quite out of the ordinary. And here we are. So, this is Ustengrav, the same place in which you find the Horn of Jürgen Windcaller, the priceless artifact that the Greybeards hold so highly. But this is Windstad Mine. Here's the entrance. Oh? What do you see? It's probably a frostbite spider. Or a mud crab. Yes, it is a mud crab. Thank you, Miko. Takes those. Excellent for potion making. But this is Windstad Mine. Quite a lucrative place of profit. It takes a while to set up, but when you do, it brings in plenty of drakes. I better close this door behind me, in case any wild animals or bandits get a little bit curious. But yes, this is quite the cozy location once it's fully built up. Walls, a blacksmith, a tavern, and here is the office, the main office building. Well, this is the blacksmith quarters, but below it, this is the office. This is where you collect your revenue, your daily profits, or any ores and materials. And like I mentioned before, a arcane enchanter to enchant or disenchant whatever weaponry you may have. And I already have plenty of armor, which gets refilled. And in here are all my artifacts, including a jewelry case. Now, usually these hold the rare and elusive stones of Perenzia, but this one does not have it. No gold today. I believe that is because I'm not earning revenue right now. This is the living quarters for the manager, Tovis Horensen. He resides in Morthal originally.
Need something?
And here's where you get the permit to own the mine. And if I go into the income ledger, I can choose to either trade any ores for profit or to stockpile any ores and materials and minerals that we gain from the mine. It is quite handy to have Again, for money purposes, but also for smithing purposes. And we have all of these that we can keep or sell to ourselves, and to keep the economy thriving in Skyrim. Now this is just... Oop, wrong button. Now this is just the first of many sources of income and revenue that my character, that I am attempting to gain. My next source will be down here. It will be a farm close to Lorelius. In fact, I think it's quite literally just here. I was trying to place that, but I couldn't. Okay. Perhaps one day we will sure do that. But that is my next attempt. I have a few other mods, including a boat that you can buy in Solitude, and Felberg, which is a town here in the Rift. No, not the Rift, sorry. Down in Valkyrie Hold. And another one known as Blackthorn. Blackthorn is a small village in the Rift that you can buy. So I'm slowly making my way up and becoming a town mayor with Felberg. But enough about that. Let's go into my house and pick a nice book to read for today. Oh. This is my home, the Winstead Mine house. Let me change into more comfortable attire. There we go. Now I feel more at home and at ease. Of course, I'd still keep my sword on me, just to ensure anyone that is nearby that I am not to be taken lightly. Miko, you can wait here, my boy. But now let's find a nice spot to sit down and read. I haven't thought of anything particular to read, but I'm sure something will pop out to me. Here's my bathing quarters. Perhaps I will use these later, after relaxing, before I head to bed. My desk. Let us see what I have at hand to read. I haven't thought about anything particular. I am looking for something interesting. It doesn't matter whether it's fiction or non-fiction. However, I am taking an interest in some of these magical books that I have at hand, such as Reality and Other Falsehoods. A book on alteration magic, which I was given from the quite intimidating librarian in the College of Winterhold. He is intimidating at first, but he is just professional. He truly cares about books and education, and he wants them to remain a collection for others to study. I can respect that. So let's read this one. Reality and other falsehoods. No author, seemingly. Perhaps we will find out more as we read. It is easy to confuse illusion and alteration. Both schools of magic attempt to create what is not there. The difference is in the rules of nature. Illusion is not bound by them, while alteration is. This may seem to indicate that alteration is the weaker of the two, but this is not true. Alteration creates a reality that is recognized by everyone. Illusion's reality is only in the mind of the caster and the target. To master alteration, first accept that reality is a falsehood. There is no such thing. Our reality is a perception of greater forces impressed upon us for their amusement. Some say that those forces are the gods, others that they are something beyond the gods. For the wizard, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the appeal couched in a manner that cannot be denied. It must be insistent without being insulting. To cast alteration spells is to convince a greater power that it will be easier to change reality as requested than to leave it alone. Do not assume that these forces are sentient. Our best guess is that they are like wind and water, persistent, but not thoughtful. Just like directing the wind or water, diversions are easier than outright resistance. Express the spell as a subtle change, and it is more likely to be successful. Well, that is interesting. And it explains quite a lot about alteration magic and what it can do. Here in Skyrim, alteration magic is not taken as seriously as it is in the other provinces of Tamriel. For example, in Morrowind and Cyrodiil, alteration has many more teachers and spells that you can cast with. Probably because here in Skyrim magic is frowned upon, given its history within the country. Yes, there's not much choice in magic in Skyrim when it comes to alteration. You have spells such as armor, the skin spells, or flesh spells rather, oak flesh, stone flesh, iron, ebony, and dragon. But the dragon flesh is quite an elusive mystery. I believe it is only spoken about in theories, mostly by Tolfdir of the College of Winterhold. And then there's, of course, paralysis. Oh, I don't have it. I only have the enchantment. But paralysis and the paralysis rune are excellent at taking out an individual during a fight. And then there's also detect life, and the inverse, detect dead or detect undead, which sounds more appropriate. Both are excellent for those who take a stealthy approach like myself. Other than that, there's not much else. Transmutate, for example, is good for those who wish to make a quick drake by changing iron to silver and silver to gold. But it of course relies on the individual having some practice in smithing, because the ore itself is near worthless compared to a gold ingot or a piece of jewelry. But it is excellent to gain more experience in both alteration and in smithing. But you compare that to Cyrodiil and Morrowind, and you have more options for alteration magic, such as lock-picking magic to open up a door or chest, depending on one's skill level, and magic reserves. You also have spells such as Feather or Burden, which can either lighten your load or to increase the load on oneself. Trust me, it is good to have a feather spell on you at all times when travelling in Cyrodiil, especially when diving deep in dungeons, because certain creatures, such as zombies, can inflict you with strength drain and cause you to have less carry weight. And the last thing you want is to be stuck in a Cyrodiilic dungeon. I tell you this from experience. But Burden is a good skill to have if you need to get a quick getaway from someone who you know is carrying quite a lot of heavy equipment, such as knights, guards. But you didn't hear that from me. Now, without being read, I have time for one more book to read. That book was a lot shorter than I realized. So, keeping with the theme of magic, we will read Mystery of Talara, version 2. Again, given to me by the kind orc librarian of the College of Winterhold. The Mystery of Princess Talara, Part 2, by Mera Lyketh. This one is more of a story than a guide. She felt nothing, darkness enveloping her body and mind. pain surged through her leg, and with that sensation, a great feeling of cold washed over her. She opened her eyes and saw that she was drowning. Her left leg would not move at all, but using her right one and her arms, she pulled herself up toward the moons above. It was a long way through the swirling currents that wrenched back at her. At last, she broke the surface and sucked in the cold night air. She was still close to the rocky shoreline of the capital city of the kingdom of Camelon, but the water had carried her quite away from the point where she fell at Cavil-Steel Rock. Not fell, she thought, correcting herself. She had been pushed. Further down current, she allowed herself to drift. There, the steep cliff walls sloped lower until they were close to the water's edge. The silhouette of a large house on the shore loomed ahead, and as she neared it, she could see smoke rising from the chimney, and the flicker of firelight within. The pain in her leg was great, but greater still was the chill of the water. The thought of a warmer fire was all the motivation she needed to begin swimming again. At the shore's edge, she tried to stand, but found she couldn't. Her tears mixed with the sea water as she began to crawl across the sand and rock. The simple white sheet which had been a costume at the flower festival was tattered and felt like a weight of lead across her back. Beyond the point of exhaustion, she fell forward and began to sob. "Please," she cried. "If you can hear me, please help." A moment later, the door to the house opened and a woman stepped out. It was Ramk, the old lady she had met at the flower festival, the one who had started and cried, "It's her!" even before herself knew who she was. By contrast, when the old woman came to her, this time, there was no glimmer of recognition in her eyes. "By Sephirite, are you hurt?" Ramk whispered, and helped her up, acting as her crutch. "I've seen that gown before. Were you one of the dancers at the flower festival tonight? I was there with Lady Gilia Reyes, the daughter of the king." I actually cannot tell what letter that is meant to be. I think it could be a B, but I'm not too sure. I know. She introduced us, sorry. She groaned. "I called myself Ikaina of Daggerfall? Of course. I knew you looked familiar somehow." The old woman chuckled and led her hop by hop across the beach and into the front door. "My memory isn't as good as it used to be. Let's get you warm and have a look at that leg." Ramk took Gina's soaking rags and covered her with a blanket as she sat at the fire. As the numbness of the chill water began to leave her, it cruelly abandoned her to the intense agony of her leg. Until then she had not dared to look at it. When she did, she felt a vomit rise at the sight of the deep gash, fish-white dead flesh, plump and swollen. Thick, arterial blood bubbled up, splashing on the floor in streams. This book did not end up being how I thought it would be. But I digress. "Oh dear," said the old woman, returning to the fire. "That must rather sting. You're lucky that I still remember a little of the old healing spells." Vamp seated herself on the floor and pressed her hands on either side of the wound. Gina felt a flare of pain, and then a cool, soft pinching and prickle. When she looked down, Vamp was slowly sliding her wrinkled hands towards one another. At their approach, the lesion began to mend before her eyes, flesh binding and bruises fading. "Sweet Kinneref," Gina gasped, "you saved my life. Not only that, you won't have an ugly scar on your pretty leg," Vamp chuckled. "I had to use that spell so many times when Lady Gilia was little. You know, I was her nursemaid." "I know," Gina smiled. "But that was a long time ago, and you still remember the spell." "Oh, when you're learning anything, even the School of Restoration, there's always a lot of study and mistakes. But once you're as old as I am, there's no longer any need to remember things. You just know. After all, I've probably cast it 1,000 times before. Little Lady Gilia and the little Princess Talara was always getting cut and bruised. Small wonder, the way they were always climbing all over the palace." Gina sighed. "You must have loved Lady Gilia very much." "I still do," Vamp beamed. "But now she's all grown, and things are different. You know, I didn't notice it before because you're all wet from the sea, but you look very much like my lady. Did I mention that before when we met at the festival?" "You did," said Gina. "Or rather, I think you thought I looked like Princess Talara." "Oh, it would be so wonderful if you were the princess returned," the old woman gasped. "You know, when the former royal family was killed, and everyone said the princess was killed, though we never found the body, I think the real victim was Lady Gilia. Her little heart just broke, and for a while, it looked like her mind did too." "What do you mean?" asked Gina. "What happened?" "I don't know if I should tell a stranger this, but it's fairly well known in Camlorn, and I really feel like I know you." Vamp struggled with her conscience and then released. "Gilia saw the assassination, you see. I found her afterwards, hiding in that terrible blood-stained throne room, and she was like a little broken doll. She wouldn't speak. She wouldn't eat. I tried all my healing spells, but it was quite beyond my power. So much more than a scraped knee. Her father, who was then Duke of Orloin, sent her to a sanitarium in the country to get well. The poor little girl," cried Gina. "It took her years to be herself again," said Vamk, nodding. "And in truth, she never really returned altogether. You wonder why her father, when he was made king, didn't make her his heir? He thought that she was still not exactly right, and in a way, as much as I would deny it, he's correct to think so. She remembered nothing. Nothing at all." "Do you think?" Gina considered her words carefully. "That she would be better if she knew that her cousin the Princess Talara was alive and well." I'm fumbling over my words here. Vamp considered it. "I think so, but maybe not. Sometimes it's best not to. Hope. Sometimes it's best not to hope." Gina stood up, finding her leg to be as strong as it looked to be. Her gown had dried, and Vamp gave her a cloak, insisting she protect against the cold night air. At the door, Gina kissed the old woman's cheek and thanked her, not only for the healing spell and for the cloak, but for everything else of kindness she had ever done. The road close to the house went north and south. To the left was the way back to Camelot, where secrets lay, to which she alone held the key, To the south was Daggerfall, her home for more than 20 years. She could return there, back to her profession on the streets, very easily. For a few seconds, she considered her options, and then made her choice. She had not been walking for very long, when a black carriage drawn by 3 horses, bearing the imperial signal together with 8 mounted horses, passed her. Before it rounded the wooden bars ahead, it stopped suddenly. She recognized one of the soldiers as Gnorbuth, Lord Strail's manservant. The door opened, and Lord Strail himself, the Emperor's ambassador, the man who had hired her and all the other women to entertain at court, stepped out. "You," he frowned. "You're one of the prostitutes, aren't you? You're the one who disappeared during the flower festival. Gina, am I right?" "All that is true," she smiled sourly. "Except my name, I've discovered, is not Gina." "I don't care what it is," said Lord Strail. "What are you doing on the South Road? I paid for you to stay and make the kingdom merry." "If I went back to Camlon, there are a great many who wouldn't be merry at all." "Explain yourself," said Lord Strail. So she did, and he listened. Well, what an interesting book. I never fully sat down and read the books that I was given from the librarian of all the schools of magic. But this one was quite interesting. It seems to me that our protagonist Gina is the Princess Delara, who was rumored to be assassinated. And if that's the case, what happened to her? Surely was it some form of memory loss? Was she abducted and taught to be someone else? Who knows? Perhaps she was the other lady, young Julia, I believe her name was. Let me double check. Yes, Lady Julia. Because they said that she was taken to a sanitarium, and she remembered nothing. But that seems unlikely, seeing as she was at the festival herself. I shall do more research and see if any other copies of the future books remain. I have some connections within Skyrim among the court wizards, and again, the interesting individuals at the College of Morthal. So I will see if any of them have any knowledge, because now I'm quite intrigued to see the rest of this story laid out. But with that, the time here, 7:23. It's been a long day of travelling. A full dragon fight occurred. So I think I'm going to settle down, take a nice warm bath, and head to bed in preparation for tomorrow. And depending on what time you are watching this, you should also be doing the same. Settle down, take some deep breaths, calm your nerves, and relax. And if you intend to sleep, well, I hope you have a nice, relaxing sleep. And I will speak to you all again shortly.